with this. Die. It's on my garments. I'm gonna fall back right here. Till later.
I think that's possible. That's fine. You know what he did?
You can watch it. Yeah, you know, just leave it though. But just watch it, just in case anything happens and tell me. Don't answer any numbers. Don't even get like quiet. If I touch it, so just let it be unless some like weird shit happens.
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shai, Hashem, Yahweh.
Great brothers here from Great Millstone, Chicago, with our honored guest, Apostle Rod, and we got different brothers that's coming in from Iowa. We got a lot of brothers here on the ceremony. So you know, with the spirit said, let's go teach, all right? So we're jumping out there and get started, all right? And it's the perfect time to get it started. Right now, we are at the end of this Babylonian captivity. In the last leg of this captivity, out of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, we are the true biblical Israelites by blood. Right. We are the sons of God. And you know, the Most High is very upset. Now, just the other day, the Ghanaian representative at the UN started a resolution that 123 countries agreed that the enslaving of the so-called African black peoples across the globe and the colonialization of our people and how it's the most egregious, the most heinous, thing that's ever happened. Out of all the United Nations, 3 other nations said no. Who? America, so-called Israel, and Argentina. Now Argentina is our people, but guess who run it? The small, miniature, capital, right? So their leadership, just like Mexico, Shine Bomb. That don't even sound like how you. Escaratus, but you're a Jew, and a fake Jew. That's right. How you doing? Good. Nice and good. All right. And y'all remember back in the chapter 9 and verse 12, it says, and he hath confirmed his word, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done, that hath been done upon Jerusalem. Nobody's treated us the way any other nation's been treated. We've been treated worse. Matter of fact, so we'll give you Maxims to back that up with Maxims. Right? Because in Maxims it tell you what one nation hasn't had a part of our spoil and taken us down. All right? But now here in the United Nations, three countries said, fuck that, and then 50, I think 52 or 53 abstained from the same. And guess what the majority of them were? The European, France, Spain, Britain, Ireland. Esau hate us. And I say that not only so-called white people hate Negro, Latino, Native American, but everybody hates us. And guess what we've done to other people? When's the last time you seen Jamaica attack somebody? When's the last time you seen a Mexico attack somebody? When's the last time you seen a Mexico attack somebody? All we ever done is retaliate for being attacked. But we're the bad people. We're the all-stars of the earth. You're evil. Same thing that he's doing with our friend. He said, no, you're got nuclear weapons, you're trying to make it. You got nuclear weapons. Yeah. But he can't have it. He can't have
Maccabees chapter 2, and I'll start up a little bit at verse 7. He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people.
See, well, how are you going to be born into this earth? You see Esau, the so-called white man in the penthouse. You see them jet setting all over the goddamn world. They give a token basketball player, a token singer, a chance to do it. But majority of the niggas, we in the hood, we in the ghetto, we ain't got shit. And then I was just listening to a report how in every single country, they said that the top 5 countries where blacks are really treated the worst. The worst number 1 was America. All right, you know Israel. Okay, Japan was on the list. But they said that no matter what country is on the list, right? Where we go, we are relegated to the most subservient job. Then go work on my club. Bounce at the door. All right? Hey, go clean the trash. Hey, go put this deliver mail. All right? Go clean.
And Lamentation chapter 3, verse 45. It says, thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people.
Somebody give me the definition of offscouring and etymon.
I'll read the NLT as well.
Bible.
Lamentations 3 and 45 in the NLT. It says, you have discarded us as refuse and garbage among the nations.
So look, all the nations. So when we are the garbage. We are the offscouring. We are the refuse. We are the trash. That's how they look at us. And guess what? We have not done anything to none of these goddamn nations.
Right. They've been mocking us, doing blackface and all this shit. Now they mad about Drewski.
Right.
All right, and it's funny watching you motherfuckers squirm, man. You know, because everybody's seeing the hypocrisy.
Yes.
You motherfuckers are weak, man.
That's it.
You're the basis of men, man.
And the hypocrisy runs deep. It not only runs deep, it runs deep and long, no homo. All right? This is the moment that we've been set foot down here, man. We've been going through nothing but trial and tribulation and trials, man. And everybody look at us. As soon as we walk into the store, they like, watch it. Right, you know? But that's number one, you're going to see. There's a problem. Here go Jake here to save the day. But we're the worst. How are we the worst, but we're the best?
Yeah, white women are telling their kids, you get lost, find a big black man.
That's it.
Because statistically, we're not known for doing this shit that they are.
You've never seen Bill Cosby Island. All right? Have you seen Cosby Island? All right? Now, R. Kelly might feel you. Right? But that's about it. All right? But you got these niggas going. Matter of fact, I was on me. And they can't pull out. And then they said, but that shows you the mindset of the world and how everybody knows that they great pillage of Detroit. Right? That's why I was so mad at I read up that Mandinajam. He said it years ago. At Mandinajam said it years ago and tried to low-key say that how they've been treating us wrong. Their this is ongoing. Who got all started Whoever got to read
This is the all-score definition. It says rejected matter.
rejected matter. Then that the Lord said we have been rejected, all stars. And that's not the funny thing is, who is the first one they're going to pick to dunk the basketball? The biggest high, I got the 7 foot, I got jump on the thing, on the ground. All right, and he'll put you for that, for entertainment. So you be first to be picked. All right? But he said we are what?
Rejected matter.
We rejected matter. That's why those 3 nations, America, Argentina, and Israel, was like, no, it's not the most egregious. And then they had the nerve to say, well, we don't want to quantify people's sorrows and give it a hierarchy. No, nigga, you don't want to take the bag that you know you are guilty of. Take the anointing of the Lord, the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, who never done nothing to you.
You know what it is? Not only that, then you have to go into the budget. You have to go into the history. That's
Yeah.
They don't want to have and now if we say yes, this is true. Now reparations can be set up, an atonement can be set up, and they're like, they don't want to go down there.
You have to actually why? You got to make payments. You have to go into the evidence. Once you go to the evidence, that's the issue.
They're actually directions, right?
Because they have to go
You can enjoy food.
Oh, it's all good.
And all the sympathy and all exactly. So the hell with the other 79 million souls. They didn't matter.
And it's coming out more and more. But the entitlements they getting over here it's even worse than what you can think. They got a trust fund set up for every new you wish you were us, baby. What do you call it? Listen, the land that is not real. If they come over here, damn it, anywhere, they get immediately trust funds, they get money, they get stipends, they get everything. They're set up. That's why you wonder why they don't ever fail, because all your taxpayers' money going to them. Right? You wonder why you got potholes in the streets? Right? Because of them. Right? Who got that?
That which is bound or despised. That which is sworn forward and sworn. It says, being away from, further, not firmly fixed, not firmly fixed. It says,
Not firmly fixed. Why does the scripture say we have no, right down here, we have no continuing seat, but we seek one to come. Right? But guess what? We built up every single empire on this planet. Over the course of time, over civilization, we have taught every civilization. You want to talk about mathematics? You got to go back to Abraham. Right? You got to go back to Joseph. You want to talk about leading up countries and leading up kingdoms? Why the castles over there in Europe still, brother Johnny over there, the castles are over 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years old, still standing firm. You got a house that's been only made 60, 70 years, falling apart.
watch that. That was changing. When they put it back to the and they put all that fight coming out, they didn't know, so they were destroying images of the death. They were destroying all those images and all the brothers. Who the hell goes to a museum to a brother? Small has dressed like because of these receipts, relics, taken back in time, right? Psalm chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. And I
they're contrary to the narrative that's right? They're very much contrary to the narrative that's being pushed in society, right? Very much. Jeremiah chapter 23, I'm going to read in the NLT. Babylon, the mightiest hammer in all the earth, lies broken and shattered. Babylon is desolate among the nations. So those lies are being broken, man. It starts off with the truth that's been coming out, you know. And now even these same narratives that at one time they were able to spin, like, oh, we're taking everybody's ass, we're doing this, we're so mighty. And now because of alternative media that's coming out, people are hearing these things and seeing this world like, oh, someone said one thing. All right, but these different images and the structures, videos from the place, right. So from exactly, you see it a little different. But you might listen to something. That doesn't seem to be, you know, and I got all this he keeps talking about liberation, but yet American bases were completely we have $1 trillion bases. I mean, some of these bases that they built in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, we're talking about $1 billion, $1 trillion bases, and they're completely wiped out. And it ain't stopping shit.
And then now you look at all the planes, every single warplane.
It's like you got a fish net, and you dip it in to get the fish, but your net. And you can understand why these people are why you have a nuclear among your military, because they don't want to fight in an unrighteous war, which is what they're calling an illegal war, because Congress has declared war. That's why you just had I would have been there half hour ago. We got caught at low peaks. We got caught on the other side. People all over the place trying to do it. Okay? Yeah.
So yeah, what the narrative that's being pushed in the mainstream media is not the narrative, that's the true narrative.
And all I saw out there with the no kids, I saw a lot of people, mostly women, right? There's a lot of white women with F-ICE. That's what I saw the most. And I saw a couple of Negro women with white kids. I don't know what they were talking about. But I saw white women with F-ICE. And F and ICE is Trump smart. So in other words, you can really say it's not right. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. The president is a veto.
You can't make it up, right?
You can't make it up, man.
That's the stuff that gets you excited as a man of war. But you can't make it up. This is the war show.
I said it, and he brought it right up. All right? Most right? That being but yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And so let's look at this. Let somebody get that because it's digress. Grab that because now what Iran has done is they choked off the Suez Canal. The Straits of Hormuz. And I was looking at a video that Chicago was playing, and you saw it was literally like it looked like thousands of ships, and they're allowing all the bricks, they're making hand over fist because they're making money hand over fist because Iran now is controlling and everyone's paying to be Iran. And Iran is a standing person for the British. Okay? So this is, and now you got, Trump put up all these please, open up the nation. It's not about that. With the fire issue, like you're sitting there, we starting to sit down and eat. That's right. And then you sitting out, so I'm sitting there talking to you, and you sending your message. Right. Read it up, bro.
This is just Google online because the spirit has been Suez. So we talked about the Red Sea. That's in the Red Sea. Right now, who's given control that, right? So now I asked, is the Strait in the Red Sea being blocked? It says the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, that's the one on the Red Sea, opposite of the Strait of Hormuz, right? It says a vital Red Sea choke point handling 10% of global trade oil faces severe disruption as Yemen's Houthis threaten to block it with drones and missiles, acting as a second major blockade alongside the already blocked Strait of Hormuz. Iran, involved in a wider conflict, has threatened to shut down this route if the war intensifies, placing shipping in the southern Red Sea under extreme risk.
They got it on lock. America and Israelis are fucked. And I keep seeing videos where the Israelis are mad about we shouldn't have to be living in bunkers. You can't even go to our home. We're the chosen. We're the chosen people. Right? They said nothing. They lied themselves.
Jeremiah 49 was highlights what Edomites is. Don't read that regular page. Here it is, Trump and America talking about they're begging for a ceasefire, they're begging.
And that's why I said there's a similarity to the character that Trump is playing right now and the president in the movie Civil War. The president in the movie Civil War was getting on TV talking about how his beating back the rebels and they're beating back the dissent, and we're beating, we're this and that and the other, what was it, whatever they were calling the United Front from California, Texas, and whoever they were out of Florida, and we're beating them and we're destroying them, we're obliterating them.
But then we are winning the war. We are
He was practicing. And then at the end of the movie, he was on his back begging for his life. And the nigga bitch standing over there and popped his up. Right? Another nigga bitch came out. She came out with her badge. She got her badge on. She's Secret Service. I'm here to negotiate. I'm here to negotiate with President. And so the other nigga bitch on the opposite side was like, son of a bitch, take over the kid. And she said, I'm not staying on here.
That mother was broke.
This, that, and the other. And she kept making all these men having a
they sent her straight to jail. Right? And she didn't read the book. And she gonna come out here, basically put her hands on her hips, rolling her neck. Surrender. Shut up. That's literally what the soldiers said. They listened to her for a few seconds. And when she started making demands, he shut her up. And they went right in after the president. I'm telling you, when I'm watching that, all I can see is comparison between Trump and the television and fabricated lies. And Pete Henry is doing the same thing. You know, we didn't attack them first. Yeah. You attacked them twice. During peace, when you're supposed to be having peace they're not men of their word. And it
Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than him, but there is no secret that they hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten good riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By the great wisdom and by thy traffic, thou hast gotten increased thy riches.
transferring that money over to the petrodollar in order to do goods and services. And now all of it has been taken away. All of that has been taken away. And not only that, he is not walking in that part of the world. People in that region of the world are telling him to leave, including now his communist partners. All right, people that were with him are actually against him because people at the top of Saudi Arabia feel betrayed like a blood. This is Psalm 55:19. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old. Salah. Because they have no change, therefore they fear not God. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And we sit at the table. Meanwhile, he can report it. We just got attacked. I'm sitting right here. Right. I'm sitting right in front of you. You just sit next to your man. Go ahead and do this. And I'm the best from my man. And then they wonder why we don't want to sit back down at the table. But this is beautiful. This is all, like the Spirit said, they have no fear. They don't fear the Most High. So, but now when they're in that stain towards over God, they said they are greatly despised. Right? That it's coming out. And the more you do, the more you're being exposed to the wicked. And you're being part of the demons that are ruling the world. It's no hiding it. Yeah.
hold their peace. And when thou mockest, because that's all he been doing, he been talking shit on camera, spewing out his lies, and he think that nobody ain't supposed to rebuttal that, man. But look, all this alternative media, like the brother mentioned, right? And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed? And this is what's happening, man. This alternative media is showing forth that this dude is a fucking liar, man. You know, and how America is CTV.
And then laughing.
Yep.
And making fun of him. Watched the video last night with what's her name, Kim Iverson. And she was making jokes at him about how they were just clunky and goofy. Because 3 planes got shot down, they all got shot down by That's even worse. I sent three of my best, and it turns out there was actually 5 that got shot down. But the 3, they had 5, they had 3 that got shut down, and then they denied that Iran did it. And then what did Iran do? Use the video receipt, use the records. They showed you the radar tracking video. All right. Wasted millions of dollars of ordnance. That's the coldest shit that's done in military history and recent history. I mean, that's and as far as fuck me, we don't pay for So they painted images. Yeah, they painted images of fighter jets and painted images of battle helicopters. All right, and made a whole fake. Basically, they made fake airfields. So they were bombing. Pictures drawn on the ground. All right, bombing the hell out of it.
Yeah, Babylon is being approached. Ezekiel 28 and 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. It says, behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terror of the nation, and they shall draw their swords against thy beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy righteousness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. And this is what's coming to Babylon. All right,
In Sirach chapter 10, verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, and riches God like to see, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
So with all this happening with the Middle East and the nations coming up against Babylon the Great, this is a sign of Esau's downfall. Okay? For all the rape God worked up against, God to the king. It says, "Therefore, not to steal or destroy," but by that same sword that was given to you, that's how you took it out. And Esau got so proud that he thought that he was
I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Yeah, so the sword that Esau has received by his blessing, eventually he's going to get taken out by that same sword. Okay? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14.
Get from like maybe a little bit of blunder that we're going to the nation, the nation that stood up.
I'll start at verse 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Yeah, who's the king of Babylon? Right now, the king of Babylon will be Trump. Okay, he's talking about America. Yep.
And say, how hath the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the Lord, so that houses cease. This place is about to come to an end. America is about to be no more in existence. So to the word of God is coming to an end. This is the scepter of the rulers. Yep. And the rulership is coming to an end. Your power is no longer. Seek the dust.
General Brown is in the Lewis head. You know, so it's a trade in the place that's about to take place. That's right.
It says, he who smote the people in wrath will continue to stroke.
And he's been doing that to the nations since the beginning of time. He's been doing that to the Ishmael, Ham, and Ammon, the big bully.
He was on that. Just to go back, he was on that. Like you said, you mentioned at the beginning, he was on that very heavily. Josephus highlighted the influence of Cain's descendants before the flood came in. And how he influenced murder, he influenced wickedness, immorality, selfishness, you know, just what it says, Timothy in the last days, we love themselves over the last days. That's how men was before the flood through the influence of Cain and the earth. And it's reshaped itself, for lack of a better word, in today's time through Esau's rulership, man. This is how we know Esau is Cain, man.
And he's going to be caught. When he said, well, Cain said, this part that he couldn't bear, every man would be true. Well, every man is out to say that in his own tribe.
Isaiah 14:6, he who smote the people in wrath and continued to stroke, he that ruled the nations with great
Hey, it's something called the economic victory, where they use their military CIA agents to go to different countries and bring their way into their countries. And if you don't go by our rules and regulations, like democracy, out of nowhere there's an uprising in your country. Yep. That's in the protocols of the design. It says that they start upheaval and will. An upheaval is a insurrection.
They're working. This person, allow them start things to set up people, make a settlement.
And then they'll get on the propaganda media, right? Witchcraft. And then they'll show images of so-called other nations protesting these girls. But those motherfucking Americans dressed up. You know what I'm saying? Dressed up as playing a part. And then they'll get on the interview and say, well, these people are tired of the regime. These people are tired of their country. They're being mistreated and they're being killed off. No, that's because and now the nation have found that out.
Destroying those relics, destroying those things that we have been quiet. Those relics, that's when you come down to relic or image from the time period. But tell you so more lying text. Read text. It's like, exactly. All right?
You got it.
It says, he that ruled the nations with anger is persecuted, and none hinder it. Who will stop it? Who will stop it? How to shine from the devil now? Alright, he said, turn right up the line in the foot. Alright, the fucking line being the line of Judah, right? We call Jesus and how to shine. Stop it. I said that how they say
And the tree is literally symbolically, the tree is going to be also. All the weapons and everything is going to get burned up. So when this devil goes, all right, there's going to be no weapons for him to do anything. Why is it war? Where's Moyle in the Bible? You got it. Let me finish this up with you.
They also believe it's rule to be at thy coming.
That's hell, which is destruction. Okay? Death. Death is coming to Babylon the Great. All right? So the dead is getting stirred up. All right? The scripture says the Lord bust up the whole battle. So all these nations is at that point where they're getting pissed off and they're tired of Babylon the Great. All right? And eventually, and we hope soon, the spirit is that those missiles will stop. All right? That's the end all we all know. The end of all this is happening is thermonuclear destruction. You gotta get murdered. Because it's so dirty. Everything is defiled, man. Everything you touch. That's why you got females walking around on their street. Eating family. Blood is family. Everything is defiled to the devil. He allows this. He's always pushing it on to the all of that, man. It's out of order. The power nation ain't equal. You know, they don't give a care about what they do. They can read it and the socket's coming open. The socket's coming open. They don't level out the house. Where's fucking level the goddamn here? Yeah. This place is the socket. They put it in the water. You gotta keep the level of the body too.
It says, it stirred up the devil, even all the chief ones of the earth.
Even all the chief ones of the earth, which is the nations.
They have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Like, we see that. We see them separate the dollar. We see them, Ezekiel 38. All right? Russia, Persia. You know? It's prophecy. Yeah. New ways of prophecy. Yeah. If you understand, he didn't have an ear left here, because everybody ain't going to understand what's going on right now. He's right.
Well, think about it. They don't need that strength, and yet they were pimping everybody going through to get their cut. And that's another thing that they should see.
It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we?
Hey, look. George Bush would never allow the talk shit about America. To threaten America. They would have said, hey, we're not hit there. They would have something. This shit came soft.
Art thou become like unto us? Thy prophets brought down to the grave.
Yeah, because it's a nuclear even time right now. That's why it's a term called MAD. Mutual assured destruction. So one nuke fly, all nukes go fly. So that keeps Esau in a like a double dust type of game.
They got a system that protects it. ICBM. One go off, they detected the trajectory of it. Automatically, the system is already set up. They don't need the president to push the button. They can do it automatically. They can shoot automatically. So if any nation push the button, it don't matter. They can shoot. They gonna shoot wherever they were shot automatically.
I think that's it on that. That's it on that. We asked this brother. You got a question, brother?
Yeah. That wasn't in the transgression, but the Most High said you change in the transgression. So they want to curse. What, right? Is it possible that she was reincarnated to be forgiven for her transgression of God and make her came back? Because I heard people say that Adam was reincarnated. What about the black?
It really doesn't matter. It's not because of their natural salvation. Does that change or affect salvation? It doesn't change or affect salvation. So that would be, yes, everyone gets regenerated every 3-4 generations. So the answer to it is yes. But say that she was specifically that woman, there's no precept, nowhere in the Bible. So I'm going to that's a point. That's a new one. I'm going to
First one, we would never say no back to that. Tailor your question to something that's necessary.
And whoever you heard that from,
it's just about salvation right now. Right? It's about
It says, in that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake and sleep.
yeah, so this is a time when you got to wake up out of sleep. Other doctrines, dogmas, theology, ideology, whatever it is. This is the time to wake up from all of that other BS.
and all of us got one answer question.
Yeah.
But some things, it ain't. I got a whole bunch of them, but they don't really concern salvation. It's just something that I like to know. And the thing is that the time is going to come when this will go off. All right. But as far as the things that are concerning salvation, we got to know 100% truth. All right.
I'm not using right? So you go over every single, matter of fact, if you even look at the scripture, you go to every single etymology, every single word, you wouldn't even make it through one chapter. You go follow the slave.
One verse.
So just follow the scripture. It's going to actually build you up. It's actually going to wake someone up.
Or, like you said, right now, everything's about prophecy and salvation. What's concerning us being covered, then all the chaos is still waiting. Right? When they come down on our people, when they target us and try to put our names out there, when they somehow, try to make us connect to all the craziness going on, that we absolutely have nothing to do with. Right? When they start trying to connect us, watching the phone, watching the internet, they know whoever's watching the algorithm is going to tell them. But the difference is that the elect of the Lord, for the most part, because some of us will be martyrs. Well, that's real. Right? There's no way around it. Some of us will be martyrs. Right? Somebody get there and follow these and those and the testimony. So some of us will be beheaded, shot down, whatever it will be. But But collectively will shift it's open to chaos, it's open to collapse, lack of food, lack of water, lack of safety. And that's all you need to be concerned about. All right?
That's my purpose. It's going to help me when that day.
The Lord promised that He, what's that scripture? It's in the Parkinson's, right? Say you're right. You go and say why you how shy, just got left in. If you was sick. And it ain't happening. Even if you butt in, it's pain, the Lord is saying He's gonna let you suffer, but He definitely said He's gonna take care of you.
Stephen got stoned. And I used to get stoned. I seen others on top.
And He's at peace. So what's that telling you without telling you? Is it telling you He didn't feel it? In the midst of His dying, the Lord took His spirit. So they were just, his body, he was gone.
That first stone, he was already.
His body, they was just battering the body. He was dead.
Funny, when I was a young man, I got jumped. And by the time I got jumped, people like that being rich. I was in no way. I made sure that that's what the Lord the Lord said He's going to take he has care when He's elect. And let me back up what you said in Sirach 2. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust the Lord in this fountain? Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Or whom did ever He despise and called upon Him? The Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiving sins, and safe in time of
Ask your question. Even if you facing certain death, right? You gotta, like the scripture says, wisdom and knowledge should be the same to build out time and strengthen our salvation. So when you think of these stories, right? And the Lord, so if you're looking at death, you might be looking at it, that don't mean that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Right? They got people in the front, did they not? Did they die? Right. The Lord said,
To be honest, that's where you need to be in. Real quick, I want to get into Colossians 1:6. It says, as ye have therefore received Hamashiach Yahushua, the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him. So we're at the point where we got to build ourselves up. Which means a place of difference. So you want to get yourself built up in faith, you know, by shot, to be able to stay in the time that's going to come. Just thinking about World War III and all that plays to the part of prophecy on us getting the blood.
see, once World War III goes live,
is here.
yeah, it's
Right, it's not going to come this hard here. Right? This is when it becomes, when it gets so bad to where it starts, and it's effective. When it starts affecting your movement, travel, and then that draft.
That's raised the age to 42.
Yeah, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get grab back veterans, especially combat veterans. If you were in the military and you had a combat MOS and you are 42 years or younger, right? They're gonna try to take you and make you mature. They're probably gonna try to promote you, give you back your blue rank, and then bump you up to. All right, you sergeant, they gonna try to make you a gunnery sergeant. All right.
Just to
Yeah, so they're going to try to do that. And then it makes sense on their side. Why would I want to bring in a whole batch of new recruits get guys that already know the lingo, and they come back, everything, they'll just snap right back. They'll understand they'll understand the nations. Well, you got a guy brand new. Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of veterans said that you're not taking my sons. And they said, I've seen a lot of Edomites say you're not taking them. Right? So it's gonna get bad out here. You're gonna have some of these dads that's gonna, go find their M14, their M16, whatever. Fuck it, them they got. And they gonna become a problem. And that's what it is. That's what 2 Ezra 15 and 16 chapter is all about.
It says, rooted and built up in him, established in faith, as ye have been taught. So you gotta find people who are teaching. You don't go to Great Millstone, stick with TMS. Don't go to nobody else. Alright?
You have to spend out 2 long.
Yeah, because it's clear to me by you asking that question, you said something about somebody saying you're listening to somebody else. Stop listening. They're not backing up. Look, if there's not 3 or 4 precepts to back up what they're saying, then they're not telling you the truth. Anything that we say, we're going to have 3 or 4 precepts or more to clarify it. Right? And so, are they, you have to ask yourself, is this precept? They say something, so first part is such a there's a couple of precepts in there. That way, with the Bible, you go to 3 or 4 other places, and it says the same thing, it lines up with the statements that they made, then that's going to be doctrine. Then you can, okay, all right. But if they don't, if you ask, they say something, and you like, man, bro, can you give me the precepts on that? And they can't, then don't, right, tell him, don't talk to that brother. That brother gonna say it.
It's Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a water, but thine eyes shall see thy king.
TikTok prophets, Instagram prophets, right? They haven't stood on no corner, no cheap podcast anywhere, ever. And they go on the phone, go on the YouTube phone, talk about right? Or they just put on baseball cap, that matches whatever crazy they have in the garage, right? And start, teaching. And then you go up and it's wing match. Bring it up.
First Corinthians chapter 2 and 2. This is Paul speaking. He says, I started 1. It says, and I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of the Most High.
There's some big ass words. Trying to teach you big words and all that.
It is deep
He
knowledge.
just right down.
It's not. It ain't that.
Verse 2 is
No
still
way.
points.
Before you read those big words, and then side. And I remember watching the video, right? Maybe this probably about 2013, right? And Alazar said how Jesus had rapping, failed as a rapper, right? Matter of fact, I remember the rapper name was Delirious.
That shit crazy.
So he's still doing it, right? He's still doing it. And I remember him saying how he was just reading, he would read encyclopedia dictionary just to learn new words so he could regurgitate those words in his teaching. Because then he could write. Because then it sounds so he could recall. You learn 2 or 3 big words and then you start using those words and then you just build on the add up to your vocabulary until you really understand scripture. So they get they get too lost in other things.
Paul said, great places.
Right?
Great places of speakers, great places of speakers.
They can pull out my table.
That they can run.
So this is verse 2, this is the point. It says, for I determined not to know anything among you, save Yahweh Shah HaMashiach and him crucified.
Right, so that's what matters. I understand that Yahweh Shai came, he died for our sins, right? And that we have an opportunity.
Going back to Eve. Die for the sins of Israelites.
She sinned, did she not?
Right.
Right.
That's simple.
That's simple, bro.
Yeah.
Like we all sin, like the scripture said, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory.
Yeah, even in 2/3, you know, it's just that they have to down the side is obtained for riches.
Right.
That's the only thing. But his death redeemed them as well. They just, you know, they just 2/3 and they got to go through what, you know, that's their lot. And the water, you know, how Rakazan is none of our lives. All right? But their lot is already sealed. Right. But the flip side of the coin is that they do. I got one of my closest friends in New York that told me this. You know, I'm trying, you know, I'm getting on him. I really bother him. But I'm getting on him. But he was like, you know, we were arguing with a couple of other friends, and then he was like, hold on. He said, I never said I didn't believe. He said, I believe everything you said. But he said, I also believe that I'm getting the kingdom anyway. So, as he's still chewing on that pork, I'm going to eat this shit anyway. This shit good. That was it. He was like, why I got to change? I'm going to get the kingdom. And I'm like, I'm just looking at this nigga like,
But he don't come with everlasting.
and then he turned around and said, then he turned around and then I'm excited to see all this shit they're talking about. I'm ready for this shit. I'm like, and in my head I'm like, bro, you ain't ready for this.
They don't know what they ask. They don't know.
I know this ain't state, but
Yeah,
let me read.
pretty much. And that's it. And then, you know, he wanted, matter of fact, he out in Colorado right now. His job got him up here. So, you know, they money. So, he like, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm saying this man. He can go, you know, now, and that's cutting back now. He'll make it. But he used to go to Thailand for 3 months. He was living good, bro. So he was like, you know, man, when I gotta go up there instead of the home, I'm already getting the heat, right? And I'm like, but so comfortable, like, now, sick, in pain. He just lost his big brother. His younger brother just died. Right?
Jake don't understand what comes with that. When Abba himself, when the Father tells you you're gonna die by pain, when He tells you you're gonna die by pain, you should really consider that statement.
Yeah. As much as I hate the 2/3, you know, I really hate it. But at the same time, I'm glad they're around because that just makes our chances that much better. They're not calling us the name. They're not going to keep the Shabbat. They're not going to try to keep the back. You know, they're not going to say no when they find broad off on the ass and they know she got a man. They going to, right, exactly.
Rehearsing the righteous acts. Yeah.
Righteous act.
Yep.
What kind of friend is this?
But it's also the prophecy being fulfilled that the 2/3 gonna be the 2/3 again. He said the wicked will do wicked. So that should boast your faith to them. Everything that we're seeing prophecy in real time play out in real time every day. A new prophecy is being revealed every second of every day.
Message.
And you know what? The weird thing is that the But and they laughing at Esau watching them. But they don't understand, you know what they. But the what flip side of the coin is that Esau gets it. He trying to tell these black men, nigga, we about to be fucked up. This black man like, nigga, I've been fucked up. And he like, no, you don't get it. He's like, I just get it. And I'm like, no, you don't, man. Listen to your white boyfriend. Because you have no idea what's about to happen.
See him get scared.
Right.
Everything, all of my life, all of our earth, all around, man and women. Oh, America's the greatest army. Nobody would take America down. America's the greatest country ever. Everything was great. I ain't heard that shit for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it's going to get worse and worse. And it goes back to those like, they're leaving right there because they're asking them, what are we going to do if they come mess with us? We're just going to conform to whatever they say. They said, no, we ain't cool with that. So they're trying to find, which is still fucked up because the woman will be fucked up no matter what. She's going to have a man, a lawyer to protect her.
Well, and if she an actual leader, like she's up there. I mean, all she does is she can't get on the chair. And even on if you please well, she still can't get on the chair. He's like, you're right, you gotta leave. Be like, hey, baby, I'll sit on the side. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
Oh, look at Sally. Bring it back.
Right. Exactly. I'm praying be quick.
I see you.
Ain't that you can do it.
Hey,
She can't get on the chariot, man. Whatever the heat is. All right? You got your badass, you know, Moabite, Ammonite, badass Elamite, whatever, man. She can't get on the chariot.
right, good.
There ain't nothing you can do.
Chariots will be changed. Only the Israelites can change.
Exactly.
The only time they will ever see evolution happen.
1 Corinthians 15, 50 through 55. Is that evolution, that instant evolution that Esau always talking about.
Right.
All right, when all of a sudden niggas can fly and shit. You know,
Big as hell.
you talk to a nigga, he up high the damn L tracks looking down at you. Right? All of a sudden, you know. Well, that's not gonna happen.
In their face.
That's only in their face. He said the strangeness of their salvation. The strangeness of their salvation. Right?
Which is only promised to the children of Israel.
There you
read
go.
that in Jeremiah 31, and Hebrews 8, Ezekiel 11, Ezekiel 36.
Right, so the heathen's not going to hear it. So they cannot get on the ships. They're not genetically capable. Let's put it like that. So they don't come through the bloodline.
No.
All right?
And they gonna find that out.
Yeah.
And they got a lot to pay for.
And they got too much to pay for it, too much blood. And even the ones that scream it out that, well, my family never owned slaves. We never did that. That was like, no. Trust three generations. And yet, you benefited from the rape, robbery, and murder.
Right now.
So, and you still benefit.
I talked to an Ishmaelite. He owned a liquor store. By my job, me and a couple of co-workers, we go to the liquor store every Friday. We go there together. About 30 minutes to an hour. And we know we cool with him. He Ishmael. He's like, oh no, I'm African. But I heard him talk shit about Issachar and talk shit about Jacob. And I thought he said something. I said, no, man. Because behind closed doors, you talk shit about my people. I said, you're not African. You just got one there. Alright? You got, I went to his I said, can you call this nigga behind closed doors? He said, yeah. I did. There's no disrespect. I said, no, it's all respect. Because for the simple fact, people talking down to us. Like good beneath you. I said, ask your grandfather. Ask your grandfather. These heathens. And it did so much shit. Abraham, Ishmael showed Esau how to train us to do slavery.
Yeah.
The Arab slave trade.
The first slave trade that happened before the transatlantic slave trade, that happened before Cristobal Colon came to the Americas. Right? Which is actually
of the Northern Kingdom to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
Yep, because Seville, Spain became the first slave capital.
And they were doing that to Gadites here too. So Pocahontas and several, she wasn't the only one they took over there.
And when you read the story of her, it's a very tragic story. They made a cartoon. And that really aggravated me. I learned it too. I did a lesson. But it turned out that Pocahontas, somebody get right? But Pocahontas was only 14 years old. And she had a husband. They don't tell you that part either. She wasn't a virgin. All right, she was a virgin and she was still young enough to be married and have children. But she wasn't a virgin. The virgin with the meaning of being untouched. You know, you got what Allah and the one. All right, and that's the difference between the two. All right, both are still able to have children. All right, but one is untouched and one may not. All right, so they killed her husband. Okay, they murdered her husband, John Smith. I don't know if John Smith murdered him, but her husband was murdered, and so was her first child. Right, and then John Smith took her pregnant. He forced himself. Then he took her back home to Spain, and when she was pregnant, he had a child that failed so I can't take care of myself. I'm stuck. And then she ended up dying young. She didn't even grow old, right? Depression? Yeah, depression. She died very young, and that's the true story of Pocahontas. Which they glorified like it was this grand love story. They're holding hands and spinning around in flowers. You know? No, man, this dude was a murdering, rapist piece of shit. Right? And he sees these young girls. Right? And like I got one of my clients sent me a picture of two men. And they said one was a Christian, two men holding a little girl hand. And they said Christian and his daughter. Then it said Muslim and his wife. And I was like, yeah, you know, trying to clown, like, and I'm like, man, with all the pedophilia that's going on with white Christian males especially, you know, there's always a bunch of them with a bunch of freakers in Christianity. Okay, nothing but a bunch of false prophets and a bunch of, you know, heathens. Okay, and every other day it's some freakers and shit going on. Somebody on. Right. About those tunnels and Brooklyn. Exactly. And then they ain't saying nothing about the J-ish. Okay? But you know, trying to put it up, you know, trying to create that narrative that the Muslims are the problem. No, man. This war was started with Muslims to hide and protect white male Christians here in America. We here at Great Millstone, we ain't let that Epstein bullshit go. Right? Exactly. So, you know, there's no religion that has shed more blood on this planet than Christians. And to make with that, because in Esau, Edom, the bloodshed, that violent man, right? And then there's no other people outside of the Edomites that shed more blood on this planet. And it just so happens that the majority of Edomites happen to be Christians, Judeo-Christians. Right? And there's no group of people or religion in the history of mankind. Matter of fact, when I walked up, we were talking about the UN voting that the transatlantic slave trade was the most inhumane and wicked thing in the history that ever happened in the history of mankind. Right? But guess who was the number one perpetrators of that? Judeo-white Christian males. Right? So that say it again. Who are the perpetrators of that? Judeo-Christian white males.
There's no person more profane than Esau.
Who were responsible for the most heinous act, the most malicious act, the most inhumane act in human history. They were responsible. That's why three of their nations voted no. And the ones who were absent, they voted no too. Right? And they were all, and most of the ones that said the majority of those who refused to vote, they were absent from the vote, they were also people benefiting from trade and slavery.
We're telling you, but these people will find out that they know exactly who they were for us. Yeah. Which makes it worse.
That's why they don't want to. That's why the Jewish, the Jayish, and the Judeo-Christians in America, and the other Jayish here in America didn't want to admit to exactly what you just said. When we get that Exodus 24.
I got it. Exodus 2:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, if you go to the Hebrew word hand, it's Yah, it's power. Alright? If he be found in his power, he shall surely be put to death.
There's no other remedy. The only remedy is death. And then when they're doing the slave trade, they spilled a tremendous amount of blood. So what is Numbers 33 and 35 say? Or is it 35? Yeah. Get that real quick. Get it. Get it.
Literally.
It's at Numbers 35 and 33. So shall ye not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
That's it. No other way. All right? Those who shed all that blood, their blood has to be shed. There is no saying I'm sorry. There's no, hey, I apologize for what I didn't know. Your blood, you have to bleed. That's what the Bible says. You're a Judeo-Christian, right? Read what the book says.
My blood shall be with the Chaldeans, shall Israel sing it. You know? So these devils gotta pay, man.
Revelation 17:6. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai.
That woman is America. That same hole that set on the beast. And now the beast is turning. All right? The beast is going to eat up like Jezebel that ain't let him go. All right? Go ahead.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai, and when I saw her, I wondered my admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee this is the which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. Man, you're not supposed to marvel off of this bitch, man. Alright? You're not supposed to marvel off of this bitch, especially now. Look at this bitch now, man.
I'm marveled off his phone.
Yeah,
Man, right. We can walk with stances going. All right. We can walk a mile that way. A mile that way. All right? A mile that way. Especially going up and down Clark Street. Clark Street was at State Street. Those two streets, it was nothing but commerce, man. Nothing but commerce. And you walk down that street, you walk down Clark, and all you see is closed businesses, closed restaurants, closed bars, closed stores, clothing stores. Same thing if you go up, if you walk up Wabash, right? You start walking up Wabash, all right? And you get all the way up to Jewelers Road. It's nothing but abandoned, built, empty properties, all right? Short, so you can't see shit. All you see is feet. All right? I mean, literally. The way we're standing like this is how the sidewalk is. And so on both sides of the sidewalk, everywhere you went. It was definitely people down there. It was a bus stop. They traffic. And now they're yeah. Stores that said that the blood of saints was found in Babylon. What is that? Right. Read it again.
Revelation chapter 18 and 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets.
So I gotta add that to my regeneration precept. All right. Bang. So the saints and the prophets, wait, huh? Their blood. I thought they died down. We tell you that we regenerate every word for generation. We tell you that with confidence because that's what the Bible says. Every 3-4 generations, everyone will generate. Right? And like I said, a lot of jakes fear death because they think that's it. All right? And because, like, shit, we've been in Babylon for 2 years. We had the glorious spirits with us. You know, now I understand why we were so fierce in battle with all those things. We didn't even, we didn't care for that. It's like, well, I kill these enemies and my people is good. And I'm coming back. And if y'all still around, I'll kill y'all again. All right?
That for Israel, this is the end of that
Cycle of death.
You know, that cycle is coming to an end, so it ain't no more coming back into this flesh. Whatever flesh we in right now, this is it, man.
Go ahead,
so
read.
we don't get another chance.
Go ahead.
So give diligence to make our own election sure now. Because there's mortality after this.
Right? That's the thing. Like my knucklehead friend, all right? He's going to have a good life on the other side, blah, 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 blah. But the Lord's elect, right? It's levels to the city, all right? So on the other side, when Yahushua break open that line and call for his elect, all right? That's going to be a whole bunch of our people that's on the outside of it. Okay? They're going to be on the outside of it. And they're going to wish they had listened. Because the Lord going to be like, all Israel, glittering everybody together and partying and music and everything you're doing. Outside going to show up, right? The elect going to show up, crowds going wild. King David going to show up, the crowd going wild. Outside going to show up, the crowd going to go nuts. All right? And then they're going to mingle among the people. And then the Lord going to call for this next king. All right? Then only his elect. Everybody else. You gotta go home.
Can't sit here.
Right. It's like the little badass kid that when all the other kids get, he can't be in trouble. Because you don't get to go. You didn't act right. And I don't want to be that kid with everybody else going to do the thing. And I'm the only one standing there.
What that finna gonna do?
Right. And then you may have a part of it. Right?
All the regular elect, the regular Israelites, they were all beautiful and everything, and looked rich and so forth. But then when they saw one elect, they all stopped and all pointed up like, oh, there's such.
Even right. I remember that. It's one of them. And these are the Israelites. Right? They were saying that. So what the heathen gonna say?
Just how, and just as in Moses, defense at the light, being impressed with the Lord, we don't have that light. Ain't no regular humans that's going to be easy looking for. If we just go out there, they would have to bail us out, and we would have to tone it down. They would not be able to look for us.
Well, we really gonna be like that.
That's your take, that's all right?
That one scene in Thor, what's the brother's name? And all the niggas really love so much. Yeah, in fact, he reminded me he was out. But yeah, when he stood on that bridge with that big sword and his eyes lit up and all the lightning, I was like, damn, that shit was wrong. I was like, that's gonna be us, man. We ain't gonna be like regular people, man. And why would you?
He had the power. He was one that really had the power.
No, I just said a four regular nigga. Right. The Lord said you got the cars. you got the Ferrari, you got Eleanor, y'all know who Eleanor is, all right? You got Eleanor, you got the that damn
That's going to 67. Right?
yeah, that 67 Mustang. You got that Dodge Charger that in the first Fast and Furious, all right? And then you got a Ford Pinto, right?
Chevy Nova.
You don't want to be one of these,
Lord, that's true.
right? You know, I just want something to run. Dog.
Ford Fiesta.
Really, nigga? You go. You know? Bring it out, brother. We gonna get ready to rap.
This is Isaiah 61:9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed. You know, that starts also amongst the other nations. It's going to be clear difference between an Israelite and a heathen. So even all this talk about heathen nation and everything like that, like, it's really very evident. But then on top of that, there's going to be a greater separation between the elect. And then it says, look at James 4 chapter, those that turn many to righteousness shall shine like the stars in the heaven.
Definition. It goes to that definition when it says those that are superior of the same class and group. So we all Israelites, there are ones that are superior than the rest of them.
Talk about those that are going to be least and greatest in the kingdom of God. So to show you what's level, they're going to both be in the kingdom. Two-thirds, and he's going to eventually be in the kingdom. All right, you know. Once again, it's going to be levels, man. Every year.
Hey, look. Get those lanes so you can really understand low level. Right? You know, how a kid has a toy box. Yeah, most kids love all their toys. Right? You know, they'll pull every toy out of their toy box. You know, and there's toys all over the game. Okay? That little kid don't want to let go.
You got the red and hair.
Right? Yeah, come.
So it's
And that's what
come up with the
So that's what it is. He's a girl. He said predestinated 1 to like 5. They jumped every like
Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. According as Ephesians 1:1, Paul, an apostle of Yahweh HaMashiach, by the will of Yahweh, to the saints which are at Ephesus,
right to the Israelites, not other people at Ephesus, right?
And to the faithful in Yahweh HaMashiach.
Those that believe.
Grace be to you and peace from our God, our power.
Our personal pronoun, right? Personal pronoun. Okay?
Our Father and from the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, our Lord. Not everybody. No, saints. Subject matter here is the saints and believers. One and the same.
Who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings.
Right? Bless us. Didn't say everyone else. Read.
In heavenly places in Mashiach, according as he hath chosen us.
Us again. Over here.
In him before the foundation of the world.
So before the foundation of the world was created, the elect were chosen. See, that's another thing we didn't mention. We were there in the beginning of the creation. All right? That could go into a whole other lesson. All right? We go out to first spirit, and then Yahushua created the elect, and then the elect along with Yahushua created everyone and everything everything else, everything you see here tonight, he can't have that. Everything you can see, hear, touch, and feel. Right? The elect created. Right?
It says, according as he hath chosen us in him.
So he chose us himself.
Before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us.
And there it is, predestinated, man. It was already foretold in the beginning that whatever we had to go through, all right, it's like, son, you're going to go through holy hell, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. But at the end of that, just like Matt pointed out, you good. Right? Now, finally, be at that place now. Right? This is it. Then when this flesh is gone, right? Hey, we coming back special. Right? Go ahead, brother.
Having predestinated us unto the adoption of children.
You can only be adopted back after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You can only be adopted for something that you want to do.
By Yahweh Shai to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will.
There it is. All right, stop right there. According to the good pleasure of his will. So it's all about Israel. Right? So with that, we're going to give all praise, all honor, all glory to God.